Hey YouTube, it's Justin the Snap-on Junkie. How the fuck are you guys doing today?
Soaking in the rain, baking in the sun. Don't quit till the job gets done. That's the only way I know. Don't stop till everything's gone. Straight ahead, never.
So today, this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be, I've got a lot of questions on the dump truck business stuff. So I thought I'd take a little bit of time here and we're going to run through and I'm going to answer some of these questions and give my opinion on it. Because a lot of guys want to know kind of, what it takes to start a trucking company and all that type of bullshit. What's some of the best ways? So I'm going to read off their questions and we're going to go through and answer these real quick. Well, maybe not real quick. I'll try to get in depth as possibly as I can and explain to you guys kind of how I do it. Now again, this is just my way. I'm not saying it's the best way. It's just this is what's working for me right now. And, like the rules of fixing stuff. The first two rules are, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Second rule, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the third rule is, given enough time, money, and resources, I can fix anything. So those are the three rules of fixing shit that you guys need to know out there. But anyway, we'll get right into this real quick here with this kind of the second part of the trucking business stuff. And I'll give you a little bit of differential stuff that you need to know. So, all right, guys, let's get right into this. Rate Smith says, great video. Can you make a video about some numbers like getting paid for work, paying drivers, providing benefits, the best way to keep drivers happy, loyal, etc.? Okay, so let's talk about this. So let's say, now here in Cincinnati, you guys know that I run asphalt, okay? And I'm just I'm not going to use the exact number, but I will use just a round number. So let's say that we made $80 an hour, okay? That means for every hour that truck works, you get 80 bucks, okay? Now, the driver percentage of that is, it depends. If you have really good drivers with a lot of experience, they're going to ask for 30%, okay? And starting out drivers usually get 25%. That 24 to 25%, okay? Now, I do not pay like that. I pay percentage. It's a little bit different. So I have one guy that's at 30% and I have two that are at 28, okay? So if we average that up, it's about 29% of that. So you got to think, first of all, out of that 80 bucks, 29% of that is going to come out, okay? So that is 23.20, okay, based on that per hour, and then we minus, that leaves me with 57 bucks, okay? So after I pay the driver, I'm only making $57 an hour, all right? But, you know what I'm saying? Now, that's $80 an hour. Now, let's say during a really good week, we're going to run, everybody's going to average about 60 hours, okay? So then you can times, let's just do 80 times 60. That's $4,800 per shift, okay? And we run 4 shifts. So then we times that by 4. That gives us $19,200 a week. Now, you're only going to hit this every once in a blue moon, okay? This number is kind of outrageous. Most of the time, it's going to be between 12.5 and 15 grand. Because not everybody's going to get fucking 60 hours a week. Usually your 30% guy, in my case, gets 60 hours a week, okay? So that's kind of just a little bit how, kind of math this up here. That $57 an hour, now I got to take fuel, insurance, all that bullshit out of there, okay? So when you're starting a trucking company, you got to find your base, what you're, like you can kind of judge your salary off of, what you're going to make. Okay. So you don't want your total outgoing percentage to be more than 70% of what you make. That's added up everything. Okay. So, when you add up fuel, insurance, rent, all the bullshit, you do not want that number over 70% of what you make an hour, okay? If you do that, you're going to get yourself into some trouble. You got to save 30% of your weekly check, all right? Because here in the state of Ohio, we don't work from December 25th, okay, till about April 1st. Okay, so you're going to sit on your fat ass and do absolutely not a goddamn thing. You're going to haul some salt, okay, every once in a while, and that's all salt does is pay your bills. You make zero money on salt. Zero, okay? It's just to keep your drivers happy and all that stuff. So if we take $80 and then we'll times, okay, we don't want to spend, that's $56, okay? So we want to protect out of this $80 an hour, okay? We know that our expenses are going to be about, we don't want them over the 70% mark. So we know that that's $56 an hour. Our expenses can't go over that per hour, okay? You know what I'm saying? And so that leaves us that we want to save about $24 an hour of this money, okay? That's the first part of that question. Let's get into the second part of this question here. Okay, so we went over what the driver's pay is. Can I provide benefits? As a small company in the United States of America, okay, benefits would be very hard for me to do, okay? It would make me go out of business is what it is. Health insurance is the biggest rip-off scam that this country ever came up with, okay? The Obamacare didn't help anybody out. Really what it did is it was designed to help small businesses, and it really hurt us, okay? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work because here's why. So when you're paying a driver let's say they make $1,500 a week, okay? And their tax implications that you take out of your check, okay, out of their check is 7.5% of that, okay? Now they pay all of something else, but there also is a thing called 941 tax, okay, that the business owners have to pay. Now we have to pay another, taxes is 15% of this. So the owners of the company have to pay another 7.5% of your taxes, okay? So I know that mine, it fluctuates. Some weeks I may have to put in $300 extra after their salary. So if with all three drivers, if my payroll was $2,500, okay, that now becomes $2,800 because I have to pay that 7.5% extra, okay? And there's no way for me to get insurance into that. Very difficult as a small business. You would have to have a lot more employees. I only have 3. It's not cost effective. If I had, let's say, 50 trucks, yes, I would have to offer insurance, but you got to think this number would be times 50 a week, okay? Alrighty, if you get what I'm saying, it makes it more viable. Now, the third part of this question is, how do I keep drivers happy? Okay, that's a whole different fucking realm there. Keeping drivers happy, in my experience, is kind of difficult because, you're gonna have one that's dedicated to you no matter what. He's gonna be you're gonna have a number one driver. Okay, everybody's got a number one driver. If they don't tell you that they have a number one driver, they're fucking lying to you. Because they're gonna have a guy that says, "I'll work every hour you give me. I will do it in a safe manner, and I will do it. I won't bitch or complain." Now you get guys that have no money. Okay, they bitch that they have no money, but every week, they got to go somewhere. Oh, they can't work Saturday. Or, oh, let me find out. Oh, the kids got this. Bullshit, okay? You can't keep those guys happy. They're always something. Really what they want to do is work very little, get paid very much. That's not how this works here and stuff like that. Now, how I've been able to keep one of my drivers happy is that a lot of dump truck owners are they have a lot of stress and they get aggravated and they don't treat people very fairly. I try to treat people like how I would want to be treated. I don't demand that they have to work extra shifts. I call and ask, say, "Hey, you got rained out 2 days. Nights are going to run tonight. Would you like to work that night?" And if they say no, okay, no, I got something to do, okay. But I didn't demand it. I ask. I try to tell them, "Hey guys, this is the plan for the week. Get ready, all this stuff." I treat people pretty nice. When they break stuff, I don't get that upset. I get upset when they call me over dumb shit, because I have a policy here. If you break something, I want you to take a picture of it so I can see how to start fixing it, and if I have to go get parts and all that stuff. When you just call me and say it's fucking broke and you don't know what the fuck's wrong with it, well, get out of the fucking truck and look, motherfucker. Help me out a little bit. That's when I get upset. But I found I have a couple rules here at JST Trucking, okay? I am not here to babysit not one of you motherfuckers, okay? I have a rule. You do not call me unless it's an emergency, text message only. I don't need to talk to you. I am not your wife, your boyfriend, your fucking lover, whatever. I am your boss. Do not call to shoot the shit to me. When you call me, it better be a fucking goddamn emergency or ask me about something else. All right? That's one rule. If I have to babysit you, you will not be here very long. I also have a rule, I have a no drug policy, which I have to have that. And again, I stick to that or the government would shut me down. Okay, so we don't deal with drug heads or anything like that. And you'll see that your trucking company will run a lot smoother if you don't have any drug problems. What other rules do we have? And treat my equipment as it's your own, okay? And we're going to get along fine. My guys, I do not call and yell at them. I don't have GPS on the trucks. It's just I'm not a micromanager. I think that is where a lot of business owners go wrong, is they want to meddle in everybody's shit. And if you hire the right people, you hire them, let them do their fucking job. If they're not doing their job, then you fix that problem when it comes along. But if they're showing up and they're working and you're not getting called from your dispatchers that they're late and all this bullshit, it's fucking, we're going to be good. I also do stuff if they work really good and they do the extra shifts. I usually give them 20 or 50 bucks, maybe once a month, every couple months if they, don't tear up too much equipment, stuff like that, buy them lunch. I try to keep, like towels, antibacterial wipes, all that type of stuff in the trucks and everything. It's just a little perks. The Sirius satellite radio helped. They liked that, even though when they first came, none of them liked it. Now, if it goes off for 5 minutes, they fucking blow my phone up to get it. Sometimes it'll lose signal, and then I have to tell them how to fucking get the signal back and all that stuff. But that's how I keep drivers happy. I just treat them like human beings and treat them like I would want to be treated. And it seems to work out for me so far. I'm not saying that's always going to work out. I found that Christmas bonuses help too a little bit. The guys expect that. And Next year, we're going to be given weeks vacations. So if they miss a day or something, they can take their vacation day or whatever they got going on. But we have to build to that. I couldn't do that my first year. But anyway, okay, so I hope that answers your question about that type of stuff. The next question comes from South Jersey Sound. You guys in your YouTube names they crack me up. So he has a couple questions here. He said, I have a question. If low on cash, what is your option or opinion on buying a basket case road tractor and building it up over time on the side? Basically a project while you work, eliminate the truck cost in one lump sum. Okay, that would work in the dump truck business. You would start collecting parts and everything like that. I think that's a good idea. A lot of times, I would say after you have a couple trucks and you already are running, that's a little bit more feasible to do that than if you're just starting out. When you're just starting out, you need to get something reliable and work the fucking thing. You don't have time for a spare project. As I get more trucks, I would like to build a hot rod dump truck for myself. Find an older, like 60s. I would like to build a W900 narrow nose or needle nose, they call them. Either that or a Peterbilt. And I'd like it to be my personal truck when I go out and drive. I mean, it would be all wazoo, have the best of everything. Like 1,000 horsepower, fucking rolling smoke, big fucking cat in it. That's my dream. 18 speed, maybe even a twin stick. I would think that'd be a lot of fun. And it would be my truck, and they're not a motherfucker, with airplane gears in it, thing run 100 mile an hour, no problem. Go up a hill without downshifting, at 100 and never, it just rolls smoke, dude. Just piss a lot of people off. Loud. That's my thing. All right. So, a project truck would work. They take a lot of time to get trucks right because finding parts is hard. All right. And then also, can somebody buy a truck and run it under me? Absolutely yes. I have the numbers to do that. I call it like brokering. Basically, you're like leasing onto my company. I dispatch you work. I take a certain percentage of the money that you make. And yes, I do that for a guy now. So you can do that in the dump truck business here locally. A lot of guys do that. Just because for new guys coming in, they're not going to get very much work. So I never brokered through anybody. I'll suffer myself. But a lot of other guys want to work every day, or they don't have the money put aside to, if you miss 3 days a week or whatever, till you get your reputation built up, all that bullshit. It's a lot more feasible to broker under somebody else. So yes, you can do that. So South Jersey, I hope that answers your questions. Alrighty, and then I think there's one more. I just got to find it. We got 2 more questions here, then we'll be done. So this guy asked, Ishmael1 or something says he's looking to buy a dump truck. What's the best place to basically find one? Online, the Truck Paper is just a national online website. It's just like Auto Trader. You can find them there. You can also find trucks on Craigslist and a lot of word-of-mouth stuff. A lot of trucking companies at the end of the year will sell older equipment because they got like maybe 5 or 6 new ones they bought. They'll be coming in next year. Everybody will bring their trucks in around March somewhere, just so they don't have a payment over the winter. But that's neither here or there. But so the Truck Paper, Craigslist is a great thing. Word of mouth. If you want to buy a dump truck, you have to do a shit ton of research. This is not you don't just go buy the first truck that you fucking looked at. I looked at 4 before I bought mine, and I kind of narrowed it down to what I wanted, to get the best value per dollar that you're spending. Okay. Now, when I recommend that you're buying a brand new dump, or you're buying a dump truck, I want you to think of a dump truck that does 5 things. Okay. It's got to be able to haul gravel. Okay. It's got to be able to haul salt or anything like that. It can haul asphalt or grindings. Okay, and it's got to be able to move dirt. And the last thing is that when you're first starting out, look for a truck with a swing gate. Okay, because not a lot of people like to haul concrete. Okay, and if you have a truck that does 5 things, you're not eliminating any one type of job that you can do. You never want to paint yourself into the corner in the trucking business, is what I found. So get a truck that does 5 things, or if you don't want to do those 5 things, then you're going to be kind of limited on what you can do, and people know that they'll drive the price down, or it won't work out. So just think of a truck that'll do 5 things, or with a little bit of modifications, it can do 5 things. If it does 3 out of the 5, that's great. If it does 4 out of the 5 and you're only missing 1, that's okay too. Don't get yourself pigeonholed into only doing one fucking thing. In especially the dump truck business, you will go out of business instantly, okay? Don't let your ego take over, okay? Keep it in check. Know that for you to make a living, this motherfucker has got to go down the road almost every day. And once you have that mindset, you will be totally fine. That's the mindset that I have. We will do anything. Well, I'll do 4 of those things. I will not haul concrete anymore. I'm done with that. I just don't want to do it. It's very hard on your truck. You almost have to buy an old piece of shit, and that's your concrete truck, which, we will get into there. I don't like hauling dirt that very much. Personally, I just find it boring. I will send my drivers on it, but personally I won't do that. I'll do gravel, salt, asphalt, and grindings. I love all that stuff. I like to drive the truck and, do all that stuff. So that's that question. So I hope you answers that question. You can find trucks anywhere. Just remember that kind of outline. Try to find something that does, 4 or 5 things. It may be different in everybody else's area, but the biggest thing is look around, research, think, watch, ask a lot of questions. Okay, then we're going to get into the last question, because I think that this is one of the most important questions. So we'll get right into that. Okay, guys, this will be one of the last questions, and then I'm going to give you kind of like another overview of some stuff to think about when you're in the trucking business. Okay, so one of the guys asked me, I forget where it is, how do you go about getting contracts and getting the work that you have, okay? And, how do you find it, okay? So, how I did it, okay, is I worked for a company that specialized in brokering trucks. I drove a truck for them, and I did that for about 3 months. And what it did is it got me in somewhere that when I bought a truck, I could start working right away. It was a dirt company. I hauled dirt for them for a little bit, okay? And then what I realized is that I was only making about $2,500 to $2,700 a week, and I thought, man, I'm never going to I got to figure out how to work more hours. So I started asking around, and I knew that I wanted to go and haul asphalt out on the roads, because there's always going to be road work. They always have to fix the roads. The states have plenty of money. That's going to be a good viable project. I knew I didn't want to haul gravel that much. You can make a living hauling gravel. I would call that a retirement plan, because hauling gravel is very difficult, because there's a lot of competition and everybody beat the rate down. I mean, you haul less and less, but anyway. So how I did it is that I was already working, and I just beat the door. Sometimes you gotta remember this: the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Okay, and what I mean by that is that the guy that calls, every day, like, dude, I called Jurgensen every day. I wore this dispatcher out, okay? Out. Okay, and it took me a month of wearing him out before he gave me one night. Okay, and I knew when he gave me that one night, okay, it was a test. Okay, so I knew I could not be late. I had to do exactly what they said and all that stuff. I worked one night, okay? And then I called him the next day. No, I ain't got nothing. It took about another 3 weeks of me just wearing his ass out. He got tired of hearing from me. And then he gave me, they were doing some grinding on the highway out here, and he gave me there, okay? And I worked there a week, and then it was like a switch just turned. What they wanted to find out was, you know, they wanted to see what I did my first week, and I fucking slaughtered him. Because when I showed up, I worked hard. You know, like I tried to haul more loads than anybody else on the grinder. You know, the second week I found out a couple more tricks on how to fucking beat the system a little bit and make the most money. And ever since then, they have gave me a lot of work. And then they slowed down a little bit, and I called another asphalt company, and they were like, yeah, we're looking for trucks, you know. We're looking for some night trucks. I said, I'm your man. You know, I went out there and beat the dirt on night. I did all the dumb shit that nobody wanted to do. You know, the Sunday nights, the Saturday afternoon, emergency patch jobs. They knew if they called me, I was fucking going. Didn't matter if my truck was available, I was there, okay? And, you know, like then all of a sudden, the company just started giving me day work. I didn't even ask for it. I was still hauling dirt, so I had to stop hauling dirt because I realized the money potential was a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And 1 week, you know, I about killed myself because I would never tell them no. And they worked me 6 days and 6 nights by myself in my truck. I didn't get out of it for 4 days. I did not take a shower for 4 days. Okay? And the next week, they started asking me to do it again. And I did it for about half the week, and then the problem was I got myself dehydrated, and I started having leg cramps, and my wife was worrying that I was going to die, really, is what she thought. And she didn't get my baby first before I died. Now I think if she died, it would be okay, but if I died, she would probably be okay with it, because she got Enzo, so whatever. But I had to find my first employee, so I started asking around, but anyway, I would just say that you have to do a lot of research and know that you're going to have to get in somewhere. You know, I wouldn't recommend going to buy a dump truck and be like, oh, I'll find work later. No. Ask, call around, find out what the need is in wherever you live, okay? Are they short on trucks? Are they short on good trucks, good reliable trucks? Ask that question. Do you have some people that you kind of want to get rid of, or, you know, and most dispatchers, if you come in there and you act professional and you do all that stuff, or well, dispatchers, logistics coordinators, whatever the fuck they want to, whatever you want to call themselves, whatever they want to call themselves, they will be honest with you. Now, a lot of times they're going to tell you, once you get there, they're going to tell you, oh, we got more work than we know what to fucking do with. That's a lie, because when you're a new guy, they're just singing the song and dance so they can have your truck available. So you'll have to learn from experience of when they're telling you the truth and when they're not. But that's how I did it. Again, I'm not saying it's the right way. It just worked out. You know, just remember this, guys. You get into it what you put out. If you are, you know, if they find out that you want to work and you show up and you fucking will work and you don't call in and bitch and cry and complain, I ain't hauling that, I ain't making no money. Fucking, they don't give a fuck. What you want to do and how you move up the list is you do shitty jobs. You don't say nothing. That dispatcher will remember that, and he'll slide you some good shit later in the year that you'll be like, how in the fuck did I get this? It's because A, you kept your mouth shut and you did what the fuck they told you to do. If you do that with any trucking company, you will be good. Also, what you have to do in the trucking business is figure out how to make fucking diamonds out of chicken shit. When they give you some shitty shit, it's your job to figure out how you can make money at it, okay? That means if you got to go on a leaner program, you can't spend a lot of money, you can't do this, you can't do that. That's what you have to do till you can build your reputation to a level that you can get, you know, the what we would call the good loads or the good work or whatever like that. Just things like that. But that's how I did it. It's also easier. The more trucks that you have, the better it is. Because, you know, they're lazy too. They want to make one phone call and get 50 trucks instead of making 50 phone calls to get 50 trucks. Just think about it like that. It's easier on them. But that's really how I went about getting loads and stuff like that. Guys, well, I hope that kind of answered some of your questions on the trucking business stuff. Now, I want to talk to you guys about, you know, what I am doing here with my business. I'm just going to give you kind of a brief overview. So, why I have all these tools and all the stuff that you see that I buy. Why do I have this, Justin? Why are you spending all this money on this stuff? So I want to talk to you about it. This is an infrastructure, okay? And when you start any business, okay, how you separate yourself from the rest of the crowd is you have good, solid infrastructure. I learned this from drag racing. All successful guys do about the same thing. They have great infrastructure background, okay? So when I first started, I didn't have a fucking screwdriver to my goddamn name, okay? I didn't have anything. So what I thought is, in the first 5 years of my business, I know I'm not going to make very much money. But every money that I make, I'm going to reinvest into my company. And I'm going to try to make this thing as viable as I possibly can. Okay? Because in the trucking business, there's one thing that is missing a lot. Okay? You got to have your truck there to make money. Okay? And when you double shift trucks like I do for 9 months, I mean, I double shift trucks for 9 months. I cannot call them at 5 o'clock and say, oh, the truck broke, I'm not going to make it the night shift. I can only do that so many times before they're not going to give me that because I became unreliable, okay? And I learned that about my 4th weekend because I had a brake chamber that started to blow out at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I had my driver told me about it about 4:30, and I had to come down here, and I had no tools to fix it, and I had to take it someplace, and it cost me a half a day work plus repairing it. Luckily, the place I took it fit me in really quick, and it got me back on the road. But I'm just saying, I said, this will never happen fucking again. I can't have this happen, okay? So that's when I started investing and buying in tools, okay? And it's not because I want to have all this stuff. Yes, I love all of this stuff. It's a need. I have to build infrastructure. And when you're in the trucking business, infrastructure is going to be the key to making you successful. Because now what I can do is in the winter when it gets slow, I can think about, well, I can come down here and work on other people's trucks. I can do motor rebuilds, which I love to do. I can take transmissions out. I can put clutches in for guys. Now, the key thing that I have here is I do fast turnarounds. That means I have enough stuff here that I can, like we broke that input shaft. That thing missed one goddamn shift. If you took that to a truck repair place, you're going to miss 4 shifts, okay? Because if you're running day and night. Me and Jim did that in one night. I called over to him. I said, Jim, my truck just fucking broke or fucked the clutch up. Do you have a ground flywheel there? He said, yes, I do. I said, well, we'll just interchange it and I'll pay to get the flywheel ground. Can you come over tonight? We'll jerk this thing out. No problem. When the tow truck got it here, I had all the parts, my transmission jack that I had to go rent, which I'm never going to rent one of those again. I'm going to buy my own. And me and Jim stayed here till 4 o'clock in the morning, got that thing. The guy went out to work the next day. Okay, that's what you got to think of in the trucking business. I have a big thing that if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. Fucking, if we got to cobble it together just to make one shift till I can give them some time to find another person to cover that shift or move some trucks around. So you got to start thinking about infrastructure if you guys are out there running your own business. Okay, I know I get a lot of hater comments. You're just a rich kid playing with toys. Bullshit. Okay, I fucking worked for everything that I got here. Okay, and I about killed myself my first fucking year because I worked so much, and I still work so much. You know, I drive the damn truck every night. Every night, unless one of my drivers asks. Because that money I make, I take and reinvest it into my business, okay? Me and my wife haven't been on a vacation in 2.5 years since I started this trucking company because I've reinvested in so much, and I have a plan, okay? That's good. I want you guys to think about, when you start a business, I want you to have a 2-year plan, a 3-year plan, 4-year plan, 5-year plan, then a 10-year plan. Where do you want to be? You have to start thinking about all this stuff when you own a business. You have to be dedicated. This is not a 9-to-5 job, and if you think it is, you're gonna fucking fail instantly. And that's in any goddamn business, okay? There's other guys out here on the YouTube, you know, that own businesses, and I do live streams at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know what? They pop into their live streams like, oh, what are you doing? You know, I'm down here working on this, working on that, working on this. You know, when the biggest thing that pisses me off about about doing what I'm doing here on this YouTube is I'm trying to show you guys my way of doing things. I'm not saying it's the correct way, but I am dedicated, and I will, you know, do whatever I have to do to keep my business afloat, okay? That means if I don't pay myself for weeks, I don't pay myself, okay? You know, when I first started, I didn't pay myself for a fucking month because I didn't have the money to pay myself. You have to be dedicated to this. And all this stuff that I own is part of my infrastructure. And I want to stress that enough, that infrastructure is a key to any type of business. You have to have infrastructure. And it's just, the more infrastructure you have, the easier it is to operate. Now, infrastructure can also be employees and things like that. They're part of infrastructure too, but you have to find the right guys. You know what I'm saying? And a guy asked me a question. He said, I would like to buy a truck and have and me keep my regular job, and I work, you know, I don't drive the truck. Buddy, that's a complete bad idea. First of all, you got to find the right driver. Are they going to tear it up? All that type of stuff. And you can see by these numbers, there's not very much money in one truck with one driver. No, you're going to go, it's not going to be good. It's very difficult. I don't think that's a good move for the guy that asked that question. I told him that. I don't know. That bad idea. But I just wanted you guys to think about, this is why I have this stuff. And you know, also in the trucking business, if you're going to be a truck owner, you have to have a good mechanical background. Good, solid. You have to be a great problem solver. That's the skills that I have. I am a great problem solver. I can take something, figure out what's wrong with it, repair it, get it back on the road. It may not be the right fucking way, but it's going to get me to where I can get it to fix the right way. And that's important things to me, is having the right infrastructure. So that is why I have all this stuff. I just wanted to get it out there so maybe you guys will understand now about my infrastructure and all that type of stuff. Well, I hope you guys watch this video all the way to the end and all that stuff, and you listen to what I have to say about trucking business and a few questions that a viewers has, all that type of shit. I just want you to, you know, understand kind of how I did it and all that type of stuff. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys get something out of it. I'm trying to be as open as I possibly can without giving you, I don't want to give out exactly what I make and stuff like that over the internet. It's just something I'm not willing to do. You know, and I can tell you that, you know, I'm not trying to bullshit anybody. This is really what my life's about. You know what I'm saying? And I really enjoy this YouTube stuff. Like, I like sharing my experience with you guys and all that stuff. And I just wanted to take the time to go into the, trucking business part 2, kind of after you get a truck, what you got to do and stuff like that. And I hope that I explained it the best way and answered the questions that you guys understand. But like always, guys, visit my Patreon account. Every little bit there helps. It helps me keep this trucking business afloat. This YouTube helps me keep my trucking business afloat. You viewers help me keep my business not afloat. It just makes it stronger, okay? Because I have a goal with this YouTube, okay? And if you go over to MD Lee's 52's page and watch the live stream that we did, I talked about my goal of YouTube, okay? What I'm trying to make it do for me. That's why I started a Patreon account, to help you guys. Even $1 a month, man, will help the kitty, man. It lets me do more stuff. It lets me show you more stuff. Keeps me motivated to show you better and better videos. That's why I keep trying to work on it. But anyway, check out my Facebook group, the Snap-on Junkie, on Instagram too. Like always, guys, thanks for fucking watching, and I gotta fucking go.